Hi guys, welcome back. It's me, Bryce, and I wanted to tell you about the latest and greatest craziness. I'm 35 years old and I was teething, so I had to get my wisdom teeth out. Have you ever experienced anything like that? Because I didn't even know that was possible at 35. So a few months ago, I had my regular dental checkup and got my x-rays. These are the impacted wisdom teeth. Got my cleaning, everything was good, and Dr. Brown was like, hey, your wisdom teeth look like they're starting to grow in. We'll just keep an eye on them. And I remember thinking, like, that's crazy. I'm 35. I thought I was just not a wisdom tooth kind of person. Like, all of my friends at 17, 18, 19, in college, all those other like normal younger years, everyone was getting their wisdom teeth out. And I had just not had them show up on any of my x-rays. So I thought, I don't know, like, had I evolved past this? Was I just genetically blessed in the sense that like I didn't have a wisdom tooth problem and just my brothers did? But it turns out I'm just like dentally delayed, and I did get them. All four were coming in like crazy impacted, painful ways, to the point where a few weeks ago I was eating something and I felt like real pain. Like I didn't want to eat anymore, which I guess was a good diet plan, but it was painful enough that I had to pop an ibuprofen. And I said to my husband, hey, Yosef, I think that I have a problem here. I think I'm teething. And he obviously turns around to me and he's like, no. You too old, no new teeth. You're not teething. And I was like, no, I think it's wisdom teeth. I'm pretty sure they're coming in. They're very painful. This is what the kids must have experienced, and now I feel so bad for them. And he was like, no. I know a lot of doctors. I've been friends with doctors. So many doctors. None of them would say you teething now. And I remember thinking like, okay, that's tragically annoying. I'm just gonna book a dentist appointment or an oral surgeon or whatever and see what happens. So I went to the dentist, they do another x-ray. They're like, yep, indeed, all four coming in impacted, but they're so close to your nerve that you need to go to the oral surgeon. We can't do this in our office because you don't wanna have like a mild stroke victim type face. I'm like, well, is it temporary? Like, am I just gonna be like a little droopy for a while? And they said, no, it's usually permanent if you have that kind of damage. So you better go to a really good oral surgeon. So I start calling around at all the referrals they had given me, and nobody wanted to take this. They were like, no, this looks a little too crazy. We're not gonna do it. Finally find one oral surgeon who was like, yeah, I can do it. No problem. I'm kind of a renegade. Get your teeth in my chair. No problem. I was not prepared for that. There is a reason people get their wisdom teeth out when they're like 17. You know, that whole like young and dumb concept? It is so good. So when you hear that your friend in college is getting their wisdom teeth out, you just think like, okay, they're gonna pull a tooth out. Like, we all know kind of how that goes, but you don't think of how they're getting them out from your jaw once they're impacted and also not really popping through the gum line. So basically they take a scalpel, they make the incision, then the oral surgeon will take some kind of like hammer looking thing, crack your tooth into a variety of pieces. You feel this all happening. If you say, ow, ouch, ooh, that hurt, because sometimes it does, then they take another big needle, inject like that nerve space in the root of the tooth with more numbing stuff, and then they get in there and pull the rest out. And then you have a bunch of stitches and cotton in your mouth, and you can't talk normally, and you basically just kind of live on like soupy stuff and yogurt for just days. And that's basically how it went. In obvious news, because Yosef had like underestimated the whole thing. He didn't even think I was gonna need wisdom teeth out. He thought we were gonna waltz into the oral surgeon and that this doctor was gonna be like, oh, you're still too old for wisdom teeth. This is a joke, go home, just pop an Advil and you're gonna be fine. Not true. So Yosef had actually insisted that he bring the second motorcycle helmet because he was like, we're definitely just gonna scoot home from here. And I knew that wasn't the case. And this is such a good bit of proof that like I should just not be listening to Yosef, even though he's great, but just not great at like medical things because he's not an actual doctor, even though he knows a few doctors. So got some wisdom teeth out, went home with a bunch of stitches. My face was all numb. I was talking like this for like a really long time. I can't really talk that well, and I feel kind of fakakta. Like if I took a sip of anything, I think everything would just dribble right out of my mouth. And we actually took the scooter home. We scooted home, and the whole time I was like, Joseph, this can't be real. We can't be doing this. We're too old for this.
I'm going home with a really numb mouth, and I'm on a scooter because I have no wisdom anymore.
You are on what?
I have no wisdom.
No, are you on what?
Scooter.
And he was like, speak for yourself. I'm not too old. I feel good about this. Getting your wisdom teeth out in your 30s is somewhat common. The oral surgeon assured me that I was no like dental unicorn. And basically the recovery is the first day you're miserable and you want to sleep. The second day you're a little bit less miserable and you want to sleep, but you don't have a choice because you still have children and don't have like 14 nannies. And then from there, every day is a little bit better, but I would be lying to you if I told you that I was like eating salad and nuts and crackers and like crunchy things like a few days later. I wasn't. You go in like a gradual process of mushy foods. Like the first day is like clear liquids basically. The second day, like maybe you've worked your way up to a smoothie, but you still can't have a straw because then you get like what's called a dry socket, which is terrible. And by the third day, you're having like overcooked pasta. And by the end of like 8 or 9 or maybe 10 days, you can like be at your normal crunchy food loving self. Please tell me I'm not the only person who had wisdom teeth come in like past the college years. If you were in your late 20s, your 30s, or even in your 40s or beyond, and you had your wisdom teeth out, please drop a comment below. I would love to hear all about it. Like this video, subscribe. I've got more stuff coming at you next week and new videos coming all the time. Thanks so much.